Hi there, thanks for joining me. This is Jeanette and this is a video for Whimsy Stamps. I created a Valentine card that features some of their newer products that were recently released. So it features this sweet little frog. This is from a clear stamp set. And it also features a stencil that I used to create that background. So I'm going to take you through how I created the card. So let's get started. The first thing I did was I took some Bristol smooth cardstock. This is my preferred paper for when I'm using Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers, which is what I'm going to be using to color the sweet frog with. It also comes, or you can get, it doesn't come with, but you can get separately the die set to cut everything out. And I recommend getting that. It makes things a little bit easier and a little quicker when you're creating the card. So I'm using some archival ink. This is black. This is a really great ink for when you're watercoloring. And I'm using my Misty so that I can double stamp that to get a really nice impression. Now for the coloring, I'll be listing the marker and numbers on the screen as I'm using them. I'm using two colors of green. This is the darker shade here. And then I am going to use the lighter shade to sort of dilute that color. So you can see I'm sort of blending out with the lighter shade. And then I'll take a paintbrush with some water and I will just blend everything out so that I get a really nice diffuse color and I get some dimension there with the shading. And when you see my hand go off screen, it's because I am wiping off the excess color on my paintbrush with the paper towel there. So that is a great way to make sure that you get a nice graduated blend. Now I'm going to work on the next section of the frog. So again, I'm using that darker color and then blending it out with the lighter green color before then going in with my paintbrush to complete the blend. And I like using these markers with this paper because there's no pilling. You get a really nice result. When I first got these markers, I wasn't using this paper, and although I liked them, I wasn't in love with them. It was only when I started using this paper that I really fell in love with using these markers. So the frog is almost completed here, and what you can do as well is you can take a damp paintbrush and just sort of go over the areas if they're too dark, and you pick up some paint that way or some color that way, and then you can just wipe it off on your paper towel and you've lightened up that area. I'm going to put a very light blue color there on his eyes and on his wings and blend that out with some water. And again, you can see that I'm pulling up a little bit of that color because it was a bit too dark. I'm going to go in with a little pink color here for the tongue. And then I'm using this darker sort of red pink along with that lighter pink to color in the heart. Now I'm going to tell you that I'm a little out of practice. I sort of took a break over Christmas and with everything that was happening near to Christmas, and I'm a little out of practice. So you can see I kind of went out of the lines there. I did take some water on my paintbrush and try to get most of it removed or lifted off, but you can still see it there. But I have a little trick, so if you do something like that, if you're kind of sloppy and messy like me, there's a little trick afterwards what you can do to eliminate that, and I'll share that with you later. I did put a little bit more pink there on the tongue area just to darken it up a little bit. Now I'm just going to take some clippers and I'm going to clip apart all the metal dies, and I'll line them up on the paper and I'll hold them in place with a piece of post-it tape so that when I run it through my big shot, the dies don't shift around too much. So I'm running it through and then I can just pop the images right out. So what I did here is I took another piece of Strathmore paper and I sort of taped it down. I taped the stencil down over top of it, and I'm just brushing on some ink. So I started with squeezed lemonade. Now I have some sponge sugar, which I'm sort of laying in the middle portion or on top of that yellow portion. And then I'm going to deepen that pink color with some picked raspberry. I'm just coming in from the other direction, blending it in. And then I'll blend it a little bit with spun sugar. And then I will take spun sugar and just go over the edges just to soften it up a little bit. Then I did take that cardstock and run it through the nested rectangle dies, the larger one, just to add that stitching around the edges. And I guess I didn't film it, but what I did to correct that heart was I just added some white gel pen over top of the pink, and you can't see it. So now I'm going to add that sentiment. It says kiss me. I'm going to add it right where the sort of like sunbeams start. I'm going to line that up with my Misty and double stamp it. And this heart garland is absolutely adorable, and I'm going to ink it up with the same picked raspberry. I'm going to ink it up twice and press it down twice. Then I'm just going to shift down my paper, and without re-inking, I'm going to stamp again. You can see I get a sort of tone on tone type of stamping there, and I think it looks really pretty, and you could see how fast and easy it was. So now we're going to adhere the little images down. I'm going to pop on some enamel dots. These are also from Whimsy, and I had some bright pink ones from, I guess it's the summer set, and lighter pink ones are from another set. I'll have all the links below this video so you can find out exactly what I used. And I'm going to now adhere that card front down to the base. Make sure everything is lined up, and that's my card done. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this quick video. It's sort of a brand new year, and I'm getting my feet wet again, so thanks so much for watching. Supplies are linked below or on my blog.